What's up, family? So on this particular video, I am going to be going over a whole breakdown of Ethereum and how you could have took advantage of this trade. And the reason I say that you could have took advantage of this trade is Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern time, I go live here on YouTube on this channel. So again, that is Monday through Friday. I go over Ethereum, I go over NASDAQ, I go over gold, I go over US 30, and I also go over EUR USD. And I do all that at 7 a.m. And the cool thing is we also have a time of prayer, and we also have a quick Bible study. So so we kind of just do a whole bunch of stuff in that 1 hour time frame. Typically it's like an hour that we kind of go over everything. So you can hop on there, see what's going on, look at some different trade setups. All right, so right now we are going to focus on Ethereum, and I'm going to start having like a trade of the day. And Ethereum was the trade of the day, but by the grace of God, we did have many other successful ones. But Ethereum was actually, I just kind of liked Ethereum today. I think Ethereum was actually a good teacher. So first off, time frame. Time frame is 15 minutes. So every morning, every time I'm looking at setup, it's on a 15-minute time frame. And again, I start at 7 a.m. So I'm looking. So this is this candle right here is literally at 7 a.m. So first thing we're going to look at is what is structure in the market. Y'all, look, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You can be a beginner trader. It does not matter. It could be your first day trading. You can clearly see that market is going down, right? You may not understand all the craziness, but it's going down. The structure is going down. That's so clear to see. Next thing you know is now, since we know that the structure is going down, that does not necessarily mean that we're only going to look for sales, right? We're only looking for shorts. No, because now we have to focus on what is the immediate structure that we are currently in right now. And so that means that we need to focus on just this right here, right? And we're focusing just on this right here, then we're going to just focus on just the structure of this, right? The frame of this. Look at it like a picture frame. Start looking at your trading. If you're trading the gold zone system, like a picture frame, right? Now, we simply see that I'm going to zoom in. We can clearly see, and I'm going to delete this. We clearly see that we are currently in a uptrend right now, right? Like we are in a nice bullish uptrend right now, right? So the next thing we want to do is, okay, since we understand we are in a uptrend right now, what we need to like look at now is the frame, like creating a picture frame. So boom, we're going to simply start here. This is the beginning of this uptrend, and we're simply going to drag this up until we get our first touch here. And this is our first touch, right? Now we're going to come to the bottom, and we're going to bring it to the first touch on this one. Boom. Now, we can clearly see that this is the first touch. Now, I know you guys see this touch here, but because we got a touch here and we're also getting a bounce. Now, if this was just here and we didn't have this bounce right here, this little piece right here is so important, because if without this piece right here, I cannot frame this. So you need to have a clear structure where you're getting a bounce, right? Whether it's to the upside or to the downside. Right here, we are going to the upside. All right, so we have our gold zones. Boom. We're going to create here. We're going to bring this here so you guys can kind of just see just the frame itself. Boom. So because we already see our structure here, we understand that based on what we're seeing here, that means our future gold zones will be somewhere on this line like this, right? Right. That's really simple. Now we just kind of turn trading into like a simple ping pong game, right? Like we just turn trading into a ping pong game at this point. So now, since we see that we got a bounce here, our natural thought is, okay, the next thing I want to see is price come up to this ping pong level here, right? And that is what we want to see. But there are times where price actually gives us a double bounce on the same trend line. All right, so what that looks like is something like this. We get a bounce again for another push up. You can actually see a double bounce on this trend line right here. All right, so what we have is price has bounced, prices came up, bounced again, and now boom, pushing down to the downside. That is what we're seeing, right? And we can also see the same thing as this. Now, And saying all that, if I am trading off of a double bounce, so let's just say, as we know, just to kind of, let y'all know what's going to happen in the future, we're actually going to come back to this GOAT zone level, right? But this is what we're going to call a double bounce. Anytime you're trading off of a double bounce, I am doing low risk. And the reason for that is because a lot of times, this is where we start to get breakouts, right? We start to create a U shape and we start to get a breakout to the downside, and it wants to, now it wants to be new lows, right? So if I'm ever trading a gold zone off a double bottom or a double touch on the gold zone, I'm looking for a low risk because I'm expecting a breakout to the downside, all right? Now, let's continue. So again, that's 7 o'clock. Now let's fast forward. Now we're not trading anything until we get a touch. When we get a first touch, boom, there it is right there. That's our touch. This candle right here is our first touch. We had a pretty tight stop loss. Boom. We're going to bring this here. Make sure we have our trend line correct. Boom, there it is. There it is right there. We got our first touch. Now, since we got our first touch, we're looking for a long position, right? It's literally just that simple. Now we're going to look for a long position, have a tight stop loss. And here's the cool thing about this is, once this little candle came up right here, guess what you could have started doing? You could have started defending this trade. And that's why I love this strategy, is because the same way you can play good offense, you can also play even better defense, right? Once you start to see we're getting a bounce off the gold zone, you can start protecting trades. Start protecting this for sure, all right? You can protect it while giving yourself a full advantage of profits, right? And still giving the market to room, because that gold zone itself is also like a stop loss in its own right for the candlestick itself. So we start to really get breaks from these candlesticks, like really powerful breaks, when we know, okay, price or the structure of the market is starting to come down to the downside. So there's no point of having a huge stop loss here when you know that we're going to get a bounce. Now, there will be times, though, where we have major wicks, right? Like price, like this was a wick right here. So price definitely wicked out here. But sometimes when you're trading certain things like US 30 or NASDAQ at 930, you can get major wicks sometimes, like 40-point wicks, and then price comes right back your way. So you got to be prepared for that. Maybe I'll do like a double entry there. If I get stumped out, if I see we're going back up to the gold zone line, I might get back in. But you kind of got to, you kind of play that one because especially at that 930 range, because it could continue to go to the downside, right? But you know that a play is going to happen there, right? You're now turning your odds into 50-50, right? So that's the beautiful thing. So just to kind of get that focus, boom, price pushes up. And this is a really, really good trade here. So I call this our trade of the day. This is almost a 5-to-1 kind of trade, y'all. This is almost a 5-to-1. This is like a 4.6. So really, really good day for Ethereum. Yeah, I know y'all probably can hear my son in the background. But this is trade of the day. But again, other trades were very good today. I'm going to start making these videos in the afternoon of our trade of the day. Maybe you took advantage of it if you are in the live and you can actually see the setup that I'm looking for and how I'm actually going to trade each setup. So that is going to be pretty much it, y'all. God bless you. Hope to see y'all tomorrow. Yeah, that's pretty much it.